A panoramic roof has been introduced as an innovation in the new Opel Zafira. The roof gives a unique experience of space and vision in the interior. 4 large areas of glass ensure that the interior is flooded with light and offer a view upwards. In the central web, 5 hinged compartments provide additional stowage space. Even in strong sunlight, the dark tinting of the glass helps to reduce heat build-up in the interior. In addition, if required, a synchronized electrical shading system simultaneously covers each of the 4 areas of glass with a sunblind. If leaks occur on the outer frame of the windows, the panoramic roof must first be removed and then refitted with adhesive or completely replaced if it's been damaged. If one of the panes of the panoramic roof is damaged, it should be removed without leaving any residues and a new pane bonded in place. If there's a suspicion of leaks in the roof system, first carry out a thorough check to ensure whether the cause really is the roof module before undertaking the expensive removal and installation process. The glass removal system BO 46974 is used for removing the panoramic roof. Building on the detailed description of the mode of operation of the glass removal system contained in video VT54, we'll once again run through the individual work stages for the non-destructive removal of the roof system. To avoid stresses in the body of the vehicle, before starting work the vehicle must be parked on a flat surface and the wheels must point straight ahead. In the first stage, the moulded headlining must be removed in accordance with the service instructions. In line with the applicable safety instructions, the curtain airbags must be removed on both sides. First, take out the carpet in the luggage compartment and remove the cover of the rear storage compartment. Then detach the inner panelling of the lower rear panel. Now remove both guide rails of the luggage system. Pull away the panel covering the seat locking system and unclip the side wall. Carry out these steps on both sides of the vehicle. Then release the cable connection and the screws of both curtain airbags. These are inserted with locking compound and must be replaced during reinstallation. Then remove the systems on both sides. A second mechanic is needed for this. Now, slacken the 4 bolts on the left and right roof rails and remove the rails. In the next stage, the panels covering the inner rails of the sunblinds are unclipped. Mark the installation position of the shaft of the 2 rear sunblinds. Then unclip all the sunblinds from the guide rails. Secure the rear shaft on the left side and the front shaft on the right side with a split pin to prevent them rolling up. The transverse bores on the axes must be in alignment. If the shaft rolls up, before reinstalling it, it must be turned 8 times to apply initial tension. Now, release the rail for the sunblind on the right and left with 4 bolts. To remove it, press the rear sunblind to the left and remove it from the guide to the right. To remove the shaft on the left side from its support, the fixing pin must be drawn carefully out of the locking mechanism and pushed back in again after release. Then remove the front sunblind in the same way from the opposite side. To remove the guide mechanism of the sunblind, first of all, release the earth cable and disconnect the plug on the sunblind motor. Unclip the cable twice. Then unscrew 16 screws and remove the frame completely. Here too, the assistance of a second mechanic is required. Detach the rails of the sunblind to the left and right at the front, each of which have 6 screws. A second mechanic is needed to hold the front storage compartments, which are then removed. The same applies to the rear rails and the storage compartments. Then release the panoramic roof with 8 bolts from the transverse strut. Finally, remove the aerial and disconnect the wiring harness plug. To avoid injuries, before commencing the next stages, put on the protective gloves and goggles from the toolkit BO 46974. Cut off approximately 9.5 meters of cutting wire. The circumference of the roll of wire is approximately 1 meter. To avoid damaging the paint on the body, mask off the tailgate with fibre tape at the point where the wire will be inserted. Also protect the body at each corner of the module and once in the central side area with adhesive tape so that the needles can be inserted to guide the cutting wire at the point stated in the technical instructions. Heat the awl with a suitable tool. Heating makes it easier to insert the awl. Push the awl through the bed of adhesive in the rear centre area of the panoramic roof. Thread both ends of the cutting wire into the hole in the awl and draw approximately 80 centimetres inwards. Lay the cutting wire carefully under the circumference of the rubber seal of the panoramic roof. In addition, fix the cutting wire under the needles at the prepared points. Precise positioning of the needles is particularly important because on the front side of the window frame, the LFI frame forms a compact unit between the roof and the bed of adhesive together with the edge protection. At this point, particular care must be taken that the wire is guided between the LFI frame and bed of adhesive. If the position of the wire is too high, the LFI frame will be damaged. At the transition between the windscreen seal and the roof frame, the cutting wire must be rolled in cleanly. Position one winch in the rear right area of the panoramic roof. Draw in the remainder of the cutting wire and cut off the surplus before threading through. Then, attach the end of the wire to the winch and apply initial tension to the cutting wire. To protect the panoramic roof, insert a suitable accessory between the cutting wire and the panoramic roof and position the tool to hold down the wire. Ensure the cutting wire is laid in the correct position. Cut out the panoramic roof with the winch until the wire is level with the winch. Release the winch and position it on the front right pane of glass. Withdraw the cutting wire from the winch and, using the awl, guide it over the transverse strut before threading it into the winch again. Apply initial tension to the cutting wire and, when continuing to cut, always ensure that the wire is guided correctly. Cut with the wire until it's at a right angle to the winch. Then turn the front right winch through 180 degrees. In doing so, lay the wire in the guide groove of the front guide roller of the winch and then continue cutting as far as the corner. Then, using the second winch, cut out the panoramic roof on the opposite side, following the same procedure as just described. Next, the two winches must be repositioned so that they cross. To do this, position the right winch in the front left area of the panoramic roof. And the left winch in the front right area. The cutting wire must cross over itself so that the seam of adhesive can be cut to the end. Insert the ratchet and apply initial tension to the cutting wire. Always ensure that the cutting wire is laid correctly over the guide rollers of the winches. Continue cutting with both winches until the cutting wire emerges. Here too, use the holding down tool and, if necessary, the plastic plates to protect the panoramic roof. Now, the panoramic roof can be removed by 4 people. After carefully removing the old bead of adhesive and applying new adhesive, the panoramic roof is placed in position and fixed using suitable spacer blocks and 2 tensioning straps under slight pressure. Be careful not to exert any pressure on the centre of the roof during this procedure.